The storm was relentless. Thunder cracked like a whip, and the sky flashed with lightning that illuminated the forest in brief, eerie bursts. Rain poured down in torrents, turning the forest floor into a treacherous, muddy mess. Deep within the woods, a lone wolf navigated the chaos, its silver coat drenched and glistening under the flashes of light. The wolf was restless. Something felt off. Its sharp ears twitched at every sound, scanning the forest for threats. But then a new noise cut through the storm, a faint, high-pitched cry. The wolf stopped in its tracks, its golden eyes narrowing as it turned toward the sound. At first, it hesitated. The cry wasn't familiar. It wasn't the sound of an animal. Cautiously, it followed the noise, weaving through the trees and leaping over fallen branches. The cry grew louder, more desperate, until the wolf stumbled upon a shocking sight. An overturned car smashed against a tree, its headlights flickering weakly. The wolf approached slowly, its nose twitching as it sniffed the air. The metallic scent of gasoline and blood mixed with the faint smell of something fragile, something alive. Near the crumpled car door, in a broken car seat, was a baby. The child's cries were weak, its tiny body shivering under a soaked blanket. The wolf's ears flattened as it stepped closer. It nudged the car seat with its nose, eliciting a faint whimper from the baby. For a moment, the wolf stood still, its instincts warring with the unfamiliarity of the situation. But then, as if making a decision, it carefully grabbed the blanket in its teeth and lifted the baby from the wreckage. The wolf moved swiftly through the storm, its powerful legs carrying it over slippery rocks and through dense underbrush. The baby's weight was light, but the responsibility felt heavy. Every step was a calculated risk. Every noise a potential threat. The pack's den lay deep in the heart of the forest, hidden beneath a rocky outcrop shielded by thick trees. The journey was perilous. The wolf had to avoid not only the storm's natural dangers, but also the predators lurking in the darkness. A low growl in the distance made its fur bristle, but the wolf pressed on. As it neared the den, the pack's scent grew stronger. When it finally reached the shelter, the other wolves emerged cautiously, their glowing eyes fixed on the strange bundle in the silver wolf's jaws. The leader of the pack, a massive black alpha, stepped forward, its posture tense and commanding. The silver wolf laid the baby down gently on the soft moss covering the den's floor. The alpha approached, its nose twitching as it sniffed the child. A low growl rumbled in its throat, but the silver wolf stood its ground, letting out a soft whine. The baby stirred, letting out a faint coo. Its tiny hand reached out, brushing against the alpha's fur. The pack watched in stunned silence as the alpha relaxed, lying down beside the baby and wrapping its massive body protectively around the fragile human. One by one, the other wolves approached, their curiosity overcoming their hesitation. As the morning sun gently filtered through the trees, the storm's harshness was slowly replaced by a calm stillness. But for the wolf pack, this calm meant something entirely different, a time for discovery and testing. Inside the den, the baby lay peacefully on a bed of moss and leaves, carefully arranged by the silver wolf. The silver wolf remained alert, its ears twitching at every sound from the forest outside. Even the faintest rustle made it glance toward the den's entrance, its golden eyes scanning for threats. The baby's soft breathing was the only sign of life, and the wolf found itself oddly comforted by it. The other wolves in the pack were restless, unsure of what to make of this tiny creature. A young female wolf hesitated before stepping closer to the baby. She sniffed cautiously, her nose brushing against the mossy blanket. The baby stirred slightly, making a small noise. The young wolf stepped back but didn't move far, her curiosity now stronger than her fear. The black alpha wolf, the pack's leader, finally made its move. With deliberate heavy steps, it walked toward the silver wolf, standing tall and commanding respect. The two locked eyes for a moment, a silent conversation passing between them. The silver wolf stood firm, its tail slightly lowered as it awaited the alpha's decision. The alpha sniffed the baby carefully, its nose brushing against the child's tiny hand. The baby's hand moved instinctively, grabbing onto the alpha's thick black fur. A low growl rippled through the pack, but the alpha didn't react aggressively. Instead, it slowly lay down beside the baby, its massive body forming a protective circle around the child. One by one, the other wolves approached. First, the young female returned, sniffing the baby again, but with less hesitation. Then, a larger gray wolf stepped forward, its ears flattened as it observed the baby closely. Soon the entire pack had gathered around, their cautious movements giving way to acceptance. The baby, now surrounded by the pack, seemed to belong. The silver wolf watched silently, its instincts telling it this was the right decision. As the baby shifted in its mossy bed, letting out a soft coo, the wolves settled down. The pack had embraced its newest, most unusual member. The forest, though quiet, was far from safe. Early in the morning, the silver wolf left the den to hunt. Its absence was brief, but when it returned, something felt off. A faint, sharp scent lingered in the air, a smell that made the wolf's fur bristle. It was the scent of coyotes, and it was getting stronger. The pack had sensed the danger too. The alpha stood at the den's entrance, its ears swiveling to catch every sound. The coyotes were closing in, their growls faint but threatening. They had caught the scent of the baby and saw an opportunity for an easy target. The coyotes emerged from the underbrush, their eyes glinting with hunger. The pack tensed, forming a protective circle around the den. The silver wolf took its place at the front, baring its teeth and letting out a low growl. The alpha joined it, standing tall and commanding as the pack's protector. The first attack came quickly. A pair of coyotes lunged toward the den, their movements sharp and calculated. The alpha intercepted them, its powerful jaws snapping with precision. The silver wolf darted to the side, blocking another coyote that tried to flank the pack. The air was filled with snarls and the sound of paws skidding across the wet ground. The battle raged for what felt like an eternity, but the wolves' unity proved stronger than the coyotes' desperation. One by one, the intruders retreated, their yelps fading into the forest. The pack stood victorious, though their breaths were heavy and their fur was matted from the struggle. Inside the den, the baby remained untouched, its tiny hands clutching at the moss as if unaware of the chaos outside. The alpha returned to its spot beside the baby, its massive body once again providing a shield of protection. The silver wolf, still on edge, paced the den's entrance, ensuring the threat was truly gone. Days passed, and the forest's usual rhythms began to return. But the wolves' instincts told them something was coming, something even more dangerous than the coyotes. The scent of humans and the distant barking of dogs reached the den, carried on the wind. The alpha was the first to respond, its ears twitching as it picked up the faint sounds of the search party. The silver wolf moved closer to the baby, standing over it protectively. The pack gathered near the den's entrance, their eyes scanning the forest for signs of movement. As the humans approached, their voices grew louder. Search dogs barked, their noses sniffing out the baby's scent. The wolves remained still, their bodies tense but ready. The silver wolf nudged the baby gently, its instincts telling it the time had come to step back. When the search party reached the den, they were stunned by what they found. The baby lay unharmed on a soft bed of moss, its blanket neatly tucked around it. Nearby, small tufts of wolf fur were scattered, evidence of the pack's presence. The search dogs barked furiously, their noses pointing toward the retreating shadows of the wolves. The humans gathered the baby quickly, their relief palpable. One of them paused, looking back toward the forest. He thought he saw a pair of glowing eyes watching from the darkness, but when he looked again, they were gone. The wolves' farewell. From a safe distance, the silver wolf let out a mournful howl, its voice carrying through the trees. The alpha joined in, followed by the rest of the pack. The haunting melody filled the forest, a farewell not just to the baby, but to the connection they had formed. As the humans carried the baby away, the wolves retreated deeper into the forest. The alpha and the silver wolf walked side by side, their heads held high. They had done something extraordinary, something that went beyond their nature. And though the den was quieter now, the memory of the baby lingered. What an incredible story of nature's unexpected compassion. This wolf pack showed us that even in the wild, bonds can form in the most surprising ways. The baby's survival wasn't just a miracle, it was a testament to the protective instincts of these remarkable animals. It reminds us of the mysterious and beautiful connection between humans and nature. But what do you think? Could this be a one-of-a-kind event? Or does it reveal something deeper about the animal kingdom? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing tales from the natural world. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.